What if I told you Valentine's Day was not born from roses, chocolates, and candlelit dinners? What if behind every red heart there was blood? What if behind every love letter there was a prison cell? Tonight, we travel back nearly 2,000 years to uncover the real story of Valentine's Day. A story of forbidden love, secret marriages, ancient rituals, and a man who died for love. Welcome to My History Avenue, where history is not just facts, it is emotion, mystery, and lessons from the past. And through these stories, we not only learn history, we learn English through history. Let's begin. Close your eyes. Imagine ancient Rome. It is the month of February. The air is cold. The streets are filled with noise. But this is not a celebration of romance. This is something darker. The year is around 200 AD. Rome is powerful, strong, ruthless, and during this time, Romans celebrated a strange festival called Lupercalia. It lasted from February 13 to February 15. But this was not about roses. It was about survival. The people believed that February was a month of purification. Priests would gather inside a sacred cave. They sacrificed goats and a dog. Yes, sacrificed. Then something even stranger happened. The priests cut the goatskin into strips. They dipped it in blood. Then they ran through the streets, gently touching women with those strips. Why? Because women believed this would make them fertile. They believed it would help them have children. There was also something like a love lottery. Young men picked names of women from a jar. They became partners for the festival. Sometimes those temporary relationships turned into real marriages. But this was not romantic love. This was ritual. This was fear. This was survival. And slowly, Christianity began spreading across Rome. Church leaders did not like pagan festivals. They wanted something different, something pure, something holy. And that is where the story of Valentine begins. Now we move forward. The year is around 269 AD. Rome has a new emperor, Claudius II. He was a warrior. He believed love made men weak. He believed married soldiers did not fight well. So he made a shocking decision. He banned marriage for young men. Imagine that. Imagine loving someone but being forbidden to marry them. Imagine being told your love is illegal. That is when a priest named Valentine stepped forward. Valentine was not a rebel. He was not a soldier. He was a simple Christian priest. But he believed marriage was sacred. He believed love was sacred. So he began performing marriages in secret, at night, in hidden rooms. Young couples would whisper their vows. Candles would flicker in the darkness. Valentine would quietly bless them. He knew the risk. If caught, he would be punished. But he continued. Because sometimes love demands courage. Eventually, the emperor found out. Valentine was arrested. He was thrown into prison. His crime? Believing in love. Inside the cold prison walls, his story became even more emotional. According to legend, the jailer had a daughter. She was blind. Valentine prayed with her. He spoke to her kindly, and some stories say she miraculously regained her sight. Whether that part is true or legend, we may never know. But one thing remains powerful. Before his execution on February 14, Valentine wrote her a letter. He signed it, "From your Valentine." And just like that, a phrase that would last centuries was born. On February 14, Valentine was executed. He died not for politics, not for power, but for love. For many years after his death, February 14 was simply a day to honor a Christian martyr. It was serious, religious, quiet. But something magical happened during the Middle Ages. In the 1300s, an English poet named Geoffrey Chaucer wrote a poem. In it, he mentioned that February 14 was the day birds choose their mates. Birds choosing love in February. People began to connect the idea. Maybe February 14 was not only about a martyr. Maybe it was about romance. Maybe it was about choosing your partner. And slowly, the meaning began to change. By the 1400s in England and France, people began writing love notes. They called each other Valentine. Men wrote poems for women. Women stitched small romantic messages into cloth. Love was becoming something to express, not just feel. In 1415, a French duke named Charles wrote a love letter to his wife while he was in prison. That letter still exists today. It is considered one of the oldest Valentine messages. Love, written in loneliness. Love, written in captivity, just like Saint Valentine himself. Fast forward to the 1700s and 1800s. The Industrial Revolution changed everything. Now, instead of handwritten notes, people could buy printed cards. In England, beautiful decorated Valentine cards became popular. In America, a woman named Esther Holland began mass-producing Valentine's cards in the 1840s. She used lace, ribbons, and colorful paper. People loved them. Suddenly, Valentine's Day became easier. Buy a card, buy flowers, buy chocolates. Love became something you could purchase. Today, more than 1 billion Valentine's Day cards are exchanged each year. Only Christmas has more. Businesses earn billions of dollars from roses, jewelry, dinner dates, gifts. But sometimes we must ask, is love measured by money or by sacrifice? Because the first Valentine gave something far more expensive than roses. He gave his life. Have you ever wondered about Cupid, that little baby with wings and a bow? Cupid comes from Roman mythology. He is the son of Venus, the goddess of love. According to myth, if Cupid shoots you with his arrow, you fall in love instantly. It sounds sweet, but ancient stories say his arrows could also cause pain, because love is not always gentle. It can heal, but it can also break. Cupid became a symbol of Valentine's Day. But again, notice something interesting. Valentine's Day is not just Christian. It is not just Roman. It is a mix.
pagan rituals, Christian martyrdom, medieval poetry, modern business, all combined into one day. Today, Valentine's Day is global. In America and Europe, couples exchange gifts and go to romantic dinners. In Japan, women give chocolates to men on February 14th. 1 month later, on March 14th, called White Day, men return the favor. In some countries, people celebrate friendship, not only romance. Some people celebrate it as a day of love. Others believe it does not match cultural or religious values. And this shows something important. Valentine's Day means different things to different people. For some, it is romance. For some, it is business. For some, it is controversy. For some, it is simply another day. Red roses became the symbol of Valentine's Day because red represents deep emotion. In ancient times, people believed the heart was the center of feelings, not the brain, the heart. So the red heart became a symbol of love. But remember, the first Valentine did not send roses. He sent courage. He sent faith. He sent a handwritten note from a prison cell. When you look at modern Valentine's Day, the expensive gifts, the luxury dinners, it is very different from its origin. One was about sacrifice. The other is often about spending. And maybe that is why history is important, because it reminds us where things truly began. As we end this journey, let me ask you something. If you lived in ancient Rome and marriage was banned, would you risk your life for love? If you were Saint Valentine, would you continue secret weddings, knowing death was waiting? Love is easy when it is comfortable. Love is easy when it is celebrated. But real love is tested in darkness. Valentine's Day began in darkness, in secret, in prison, in sacrifice. And over centuries, it transformed into flowers and chocolates. But beneath the surface, the original story still whispers. A man who believed love was worth dying for. So next time you see a red heart, remember the prison cell. Next time you hear "Be my Valentine," remember the man who signed that phrase before his execution. History is not just dates. It is people. It is choices. It is courage. And sometimes, it is love. If you enjoyed this journey through time, and you want to learn more powerful historical stories while improving your English through real narratives, subscribe to My History Avenue. Because here, history is alive, and every story has a heartbeat. I'll see you in the next episode.